നീതി കിട്ടണം. അത് മാത്രമേ എനിക്ക് പറയാനുള്ളൂ. ഷിഫിൻ ജഹാൻ എന്റെ ഹസ്ബൻഡാണ്. ഷിഫിൻ ജഹാൻ ഞാൻ എന്റെ ഇഷ്ടപ്രകാരം ആരും എന്നെ നിർബന്ധിച്ച് മതം മാറ്റിയതല്ല.
25-year-old Akhila, who converted to Islam, changed her name to Hadiya and married against her parents' wishes, has become the face of the fight for a woman's personal autonomy. Her father had approached the Kerala High Court claiming she was indoctrinated. The High Court annulled her marriage and placed Hadiya, an adult woman, in the custody of her parents. The case made it to the Supreme Court, where the parents argued that Hadiya was incapable of making a free choice, even as she stood steadfast.
I'm absolutely in awe of this kind of mental resilience, emotional resilience that she had in the face of actually being kept in captivity by a judicial order, by being told that she is part of some larger sinister plot, and all kinds of tropes being woven around her individual choice and decision to convert and to marry a man of her choice. I think, and to be the subject of national headlines, it requires a lot of clarity and a lot of emotional and mental and intellectual resilience. And what it actually makes one pause and wonder that for women to be able to exercise their basic fundamental rights, is that the level of resilience that is going to be demanded from a woman citizen in this country for her to be able to enjoy her basic rights?
I think Hadiya is a very remarkable young woman, and her courage and her consistency stand in very stark contrast to the attitude of even our courts, who have behaved more like khap panchayats than like courts. And I think that we shouldn't underestimate what Hadiya has been subjected to, because she was sentenced to custody. The word custody is used here, in her father's house. And Hadiya, as well as we know that women all over our country are subjected to tremendous family custodial torture, family custodial pressure, mental and physical torture inside their homes. I think that in Hadiya's case, the fact that she didn't succumb to this enormous torture and pressure is a very remarkable thing. If Hadiya were my daughter, I would be terribly proud of her.
The Kerala High Court in its judgment had said this court, exercising parents' patriarch jurisdiction, has a duty to ensure young girls are not exploited. As per Indian tradition, the custody of an unmarried daughter is with the parents until she is properly married.
I think the Kerala High Court invoked a completely wrong legal doctrine in the facts of this case. The parents' patriarch jurisdiction has absolutely no relevance to this particular case, for the very simple reason that Hadiya is a 24-year-old woman. She is not a young girl. She has taken decisions for her life, whether it is to convert to another religion and embrace Islam, or to marry a Muslim man. These are decisions that she has a right under law, being an adult, to take.
Supreme Court in this case didn't throw out the Kerala High Court verdict yet. They are actually letting it remain. They are allowing an NIA probe to happen into a marriage, into a conversion, a citizen's conversion, just because that citizen is a woman. And they actually told Indira Jaising in court that this has nothing to do with gender. Really? If it was a man converting, adopting a religion, and choosing to marry anybody he pleased, are we really saying he would be in the same position as Hadiya? We'd be saying his father has a right to decide who he gets married to? He should be put in his father's custody? Really? I find this really, really shocking, and I think this should be a wake-up call for us, women in this country.
Here's the story that cold numbers tell of how little a woman's autonomy is valued. The National Crime Records Bureau, which started collecting data on so-called owner killings showed a 792% increase in such crimes within a year.
I recall a judgment of the Karnataka High Court, where interestingly it wasn't even a case of a woman marrying somebody outside her religion. In that case, it was a young girl who was just about to become 18 years of age, marrying another young man who was just about to become 21 years of age. Clearly, it was both were Hindus. It was without the approval of the family, and the High Court, the division bench of the Karnataka High Court, went to the extent of saying that they think that love marriage should not be permitted for any woman below the age of 21. And in love marriages till the age of 21, parent approval must be taken, and in fact had said in the judgment that this matter should be taken up with the Law Commission, because women suffer from hormonal imbalance around the age of 18 years, and the parents know best.
Kaushalya was a woman from the dominant Tevar community who married V. Shankar, who was a man from the Dalit community. They were both engineering college students, and they got married breaking caste norms that are so widespread, and so they have such a grip on our society, right? And for this, they were publicly, Shankar was publicly hacked to death. Kaushalya was also grievously injured by killers at the behest of her father and family members. And she has pursued this battle against her own father to bring her own father and others to justice. And I find that she's also emerged as an anti-caste campaigner, which is a very brave and very inspiring thing to do.
In India, we have seen that when it comes to issues relating to women's rights, the conflict between, or the tension between what the Constitution guarantees to the woman, which is the right to self-determination, the right of agency, the right to life with dignity, the right to convert, the right to have a marriage of her own choice, the right of freedom of movement. All these are severely curtailed when it comes to decisions with respect to women in particular, and there is a very gendered nature to this jurisprudence, and I don't think we should shy away from this fact at all.
A 2015 Cobra Post undercover investigation, Operation Juliet, busting the bogey of love jihad, showed interviewees claiming to have the support of the police and the legal apparatus.
If you look at the Cobra Post sting, Operation Juliet sting, you have BJP and RSS leaders who are boasting about love jihad. These people are also boasting of the fact that the police and the judges cooperate with them at the lower level. Everywhere. They said, we keep an eye on the marriage courts. The minute there is such a marriage about to happen, we go, we bust it up. The police listens to us. They help us separate the woman from her, husband and his family, and so on and so forth. So I think this is very widespread. The Kerala High Court judgment brings this to the fore, where the Kerala High Court actually said that a father has a right to get his daughter married properly, which means he will decide for her, and that is some kind of customary traditional right. Where is this? It's completely unconstitutional. To me, what is shocking is the Supreme Court, which had just passed a historic right to privacy verdict, is unable to see that this is a violation of Hadiya's right to privacy.
The anxiety displayed not just by the parents and the community, but also by the courts, of women taking autonomous decisions with respect to their marriage. So we do see this tension frequently comes in and overwhelms the judicial imagination. And while the letter of the law, there is absolutely no ambiguity, there is no confusion. It is almost as though the court then moves out of the space of just being an interpreter of the law, or someone who is to decide rights of the woman with respect to the Constitution, to looking at what are knowing the interests of the woman, what is good for the woman way more than her, because clearly women can be persuaded, can be seduced, can be led astray, and will not be able to think these things through in their own mind, and it obviously both infantilizes women and sees them as not really intelligent adults who are taking these decisions.